Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with Philip Sauvage in a psychiatric clinic. Philip has always had a difficult life. In addition, he is a war veteran, and experienced combat conditions in Iraq and Afghanistan firsthand. He fought Al-Qaeda, which took youngsters as prisoners and blew them up. Now Philip must spend some time off in the psychiatric ward at a veterans hospital. Moving on to a philanthropist and boxer named Wayne Barkley, he is planning various construction projects in his hometown, when a woman walks in the door, and tells him to watch the news on TV. They discover a famous rapper, Terrell Singletary, has been released from prison, after only 18 months, when he was supposed to serve 10 years. This news worries Wayne's family members, but he assures them this will not turn out to be a problem. Terrell went to prison because of Wayne, so his family members advised to be careful, and hire security guards. Wayne's manager advises them to hire Clarence Bowden, a former war veteran. Clarence goes to Philip, and tells him there is a job offer for the two of them. Terrell is released from prison, and gets into a limousine. He returns home, and his right-hand man, Simcoe, greets him. Terrell states he intends to get even with Wayne. His lawyer tries to convince him to stay low-key, but to no avail. Meanwhile, Clarence and Philip arrive at the office of Tamara Barkley, Wayne's sister, for the job interview. Tamara explains them the situation and what they will have to do. After the interview, she tells her assistant she has a strange feeling about Philip. He justifies it, saying he suffers from PTSD, so it is normal if he acts in a strange way. She decides to test Clarence and Philip, and wants to take Wayne to a nightclub, where there are few security guards to check the skills of the two bodyguards. Clarence and Philip go inside, and start looking around. Suddenly, Philip experiences one of the symptoms of PTSD, flashbacks of pulsating lights and pounding music. Tamara's eyes follow him, and she tells the assistant that Philip is not fit for the job. The assistant approaches Philip to talk to him, but he says he will go outside to keep an eye on the machine. At that moment, Philip notices Terrell's car passing by the nightclub. At the end of the evening, Clarence tells Philip that Tamara has decided not to hire him. He states he has already known this since he entered her office. Soon, Wayne leaves the club, but before getting into the car, he decides to sign some autographs. Moments later, Terrell's henchmen drive by, and start shooting at Wayne. Philip reverses the situation, and uses his firearm to protect Wayne from a swarm of gunmen. During the shooting, Clarence defends Wayne with his body and is shot, falling to the ground. Then Wayne kills the last two criminals, and finds Clarence bleeding to death. The next day, Philip attends Clarence's funeral, where Wayne and Tamara are present, and recites a speech. Tamara tells Wayne they should hire him as their personal security guard. After the funeral, they approach Philip, and offer him to work for them. However, Detective Teague interrupts them, and handcuffs Philip for discharging weapons in public without permission. Tamara and Wayne are confused, but the detective tells them they will be able to talk to the judge. Moving to Terrell's mansion, where his henchmen inform that Wayne is still alive. Furious, Terrell orders one of the three henchmen killed, and threatens to do the same to the others if they do not find a way to kill Wayne. One of the henchmen mentions a girl named Lydia, who Wayne is dating, and they promise they can set him up the next time the two meet. Next, Tamara goes to the police station, and pulls Philip out. She asks him to create a reliable team of security guards, with him as their leader. Eventually, Philip accepts this assignment. A few days later, Wayne is called to the police station by Detective Teague. In the detective's office, he shows Wayne pictures of Philip during the war, and states he was sent to a psychiatric facility after he massacred a group of youngsters in Iraq. The detective states that Philip is a dangerous and unpredictable person. In the evening, Philip goes to the Barkleys' house, to have dinner together and get to know each other better. Tamara welcomes him into the house. They drink, play games, and get to know each other. Then as they watch a boxing match of Wayne, he arrives at the house. Wayne is visibly frustrated, but says nothing to Philip about what he found out from the detective. Philip immediately tells him about work, and advises him to fire those security guards he hired, because they are mediocre. The next day, Wayne takes Philip to his boxing gym, to recruit security guards for his team. Philip is disappointed, and tells Wayne he needs professionals, not young amateur boxers. However, Wayne manages to convince him to give them a chance. He stops by to see what the young men are capable of, and chooses a few candidates for the role. When he notices a girl, he immediately says he only needs strong men, so she challenges him to step into the ring, to show him what she is capable of. The girl performs a series of blows, impressing Philip, prompting him to take her on as a candidate. Soon, a man named Casey arrives, who will help Philip train young boxers to become security guards. Philip and Casey even teach them to use guns. During one of these training sessions, the girl asks Philip how many people he has killed. This triggers a flashback for Philip to a tragic episode in the war, but he recovers shortly thereafter. Later in the evening, he visits Tamara and updates her on how things are going. On his way back to the hotel, he notices someone hiding in a bush. It turns out it is Wayne, who wants to go to his secret girlfriend, Lydia, on the sly. Philip states he will not let him go alone, and gets into the car with him. After they arrive, Wayne goes in and meets his girlfriend Lydia. Meanwhile, Philip stays outside and checks the roads. At one point, Wayne's driver sees a car arriving with Terrell's henchman. He tries to call Wayne, but he is in bed with Lydia. Philip also sees the car arriving with the henchman. A little later, the thugs enter the house and threaten Wayne with guns. Fortunately, Philip surprises them from behind and disarms them. The driver also brings in one of the disarmed criminals. Shortly, Casey also arrives, and they begin to think about what to do with the criminals. Meanwhile, Wayne is about to leave, saying tomorrow he has a sports complex to look forward to. The next day, before the event begins, Philip talks to Casey and says he has a strange feeling. Next, Tamara tells Wayne that the mayor he is to meet will arrive in 5 minutes. Philip advises Wayne to let his sister go out on stage for him. Nevertheless, Wayne indignantly refuses. Later, the mayor arrives, and the event begins. During Wayne's speech, Philip spots a likely suspect in the crowd, and orders the security guards to throw him to the ground. As it happens, the man is Simcoe, Terrell's right-hand man. When he is about to put his hand in his pocket, the security guards think it is a weapon, and jump on him. Total chaos ensues, and people start running out of the building. After the detective arrives, it turns out Simcoe was going to take the phone out of his pocket, not a gun. Once the reporters arrive, the detective begins to taunt Wayne's security guards. Meanwhile, Wayne is furious, and refers to Philip as a schizophrenic to be locked up in a mental institution. Tamara is unaware of this, and leaves confused. Philip orders a security guard to follow Tamara, and then confronts Wayne. Since he has insulted him in front of everyone, he declares he is quitting, and challenges him to fight together in his boxing gym. Wayne immediately accepts, and at the gym, Wayne has already warmed up, and is standing in the ring, waiting for Philip. Philip states he wants a mixed martial arts fight, not boxing. Both prove to be skilled martial arts fighters. After a long and honest fight, the two end up grabbing each other by the neck. Suddenly, Casey and others enter to inform that Tamara has been attacked, and the security guard who defended her is seriously injured. They all quickly go to the hospital, and find that Jessie, the security guard, has just come out of a coma. She claims not to know where Tamara disappeared, and says that among the men who attacked her was Simcoe, Terrell's right-hand man. In a fury, Wayne considers asking the authorities for help, but Philip explains that by doing so, Terrell would learn of this, and kill Jessie. Therefore, Philip tells Jessie that if any cops try to question her, she must remain completely quiet. In fact, thereafter, a detective arrives to ask Jessie some questions. The girl starts moaning, pretending she cannot speak, and the nurse orders them to leave. Soon, Jessie tries to ask about Tamara, but Wayne realizes he could not have known she was missing. Startled, Jessie says it is just a hunch and leaves. Philip points out there is something wrong with the detective, as he is always in the right place at the right time. Later, Wayne and Philip are together in the car. Wayne reveals what the detective told him about Philip and his past. Philip reveals that during a war in Iraq, he accidentally shot a terrorist with a bomb on him, and the explosion killed 25 children. After that incident, he was ticketed as insane, and committed to a psychiatric hospital. After this confession, Wayne reveals why he and Terrell are enemies. At the beginning of Wayne's career, Terrell wanted to pay him to purposely lose a fight. Nevertheless, he refused, and as a result, Terrell killed his brother. After this incident, Wayne did everything to prove Terrell was the culprit, and subsequently, he was sent to prison. Suddenly, Lydia, who is being threatened by a gun, calls Wayne to her home. However, she tells him to come without Philip. After the call cuts off, Philip tells him he must come along, if he wants to end this. Half an hour later, Wayne arrives at Lydia's house, and notices the bruises on her face. Then he finds Terrell's henchman and the detective, who works for them, in the living room. The detective reveals Terrell has Tamara, and if Wayne wants her back, he must accept a deal from Terrell. Suddenly, the lights go out, and Philip enters the house with Casey. The two veterans kill the henchman in less than 10 seconds. Wayne orders the detective to take them to Terrell's mansion, where, As they enter, Philip and Casey quickly get out of the car ninja style. In the garage, Wayne threatens the detective with a gun, and orders the henchman to take him to Terrell. When the gangster is informed of Wayne's arrival, he takes a gun, and orders his men to follow him. Meanwhile, Terrell's lawyer goes to keep an eye on Tamara. The young lawyer removes Tamara's handcuffs, knowing the wrong thing is happening. Just then, Philip and Casey walk in the door. In the garage, Terrell kills the detective, and then a violent shootout ensues. While Casey and Philip take Tamara outside, Wayne and his men fight Terrell and his henchmen. Wayne's men chase the criminals away and pursue them. Only Wayne and Terrell remain in the garage. The criminal proposes to settle things as businessmen, but then pulls out a gun, and shoots Wayne in the shoulder. Meanwhile, Philip and Casey fight the henchmen outside. Later, the young lawyer arrives in the garage, and tries to stop Terrell, who shoots him. While Terrell is distracted, Wayne begins to beat him up. And Philip starts a fight with Simcoe. Another henchman enters the garage, and Wayne finds himself threatened by two guns. Fortunately, Philip arrives and shoots the henchman. Terrell suddenly shoots Philip, but he is wearing a bulletproof vest. Wayne punches Terrell, and then drops a car on top of him, killing him. An ambulance arrives later, and it turns out all of Philip's team survived. In the aftermath, Wayne joins his girlfriend Lydia, and comes to terms with Tamara and Philip's relationship, and they kiss. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.